The best thing about the best simulator games out there is that they often offer an alternative life to what you do outside of PC and consoles. Whether it's flying a plane, running a restaurant, becoming a TV producer, or even building an extremely high-end gaming PC from scratch, there are plenty of options here for what to do. In this video I show you the best simulator games to try if you're bored with the real world, regardless of your platform of choice. While the likes of Project Cars and Grid Autosport may offer a more coherent driving game experience, with a sense of career progression and other such bells and whistles, Assetto Corsa Competizione recreates the sensation of driving a fast car better than any other. It's simply magnificent in its purity, delivering an all-encompassing sense of realism and immersion with stellar sound design and a physics model that justifies that 300 pounds you spent on a force feedback wheel while your children starved. It's even more breathtakingly accurate than its predecessor, Assetto Corsa, with new aerodynamics and tire modeling and multi-channel audio sampling of real GT cars so they even sound perfect. Each track is a laser-scan reproduction of its real-life counterpart, so you can get as close as possible to your dream of throwing your car around the Nürburgring without the risk of losing control of the carousel. Ready your anti-static armband, grab your thermal paste, and prep that can of pressurized air. PC Building Simulator is here, and it's more satisfying than we could ever have predicted. There's something very soothing about taking on a small PC business and simply sorting everyone's hardware problems, one rig at a time. This sim is ultra granular, meaning you have to undo screws and untangle wires before you can even get to the good stuff. Excitingly too, you can play with a huge range of real-life hardware components. Brands like Intel, AMD, and Nvidia are all here to bring some gravitas to your ultimate builds. There's also a free construction mode to build your dream gaming PC. You might even feel like building your own PC once you're done. When it comes to farming simulator games, look no further than Farming Simulator 22. The clue's in the name, frankly. Please excuse our facetiousness, but believe us when we say that if you're looking for the closest one-to-one recreation of truly living off the land, Giant Software's latest agricultural outing is for you. Considering you'll most likely be losing many hours to tending your crops and livestock, it's great that Farming Simulator gives us a graphical overhaul. That doesn't help the smell of the manure, though. With more vehicles and detail than ever before, Farming Simulator is the kind of management title that teaches you new skills as you get away from the big smoke. Few games in this world are as beloved as Stardew Valley. Solely created by Eric Concerned Ape Barone in 2016, SVE gives players an inherited, run-down farm to transform into a pocket of paradise on which you can grow crops, raise animals, and upgrade your inventory through mining and crafting. As seasons change, so does the world and your harvest. You can also enjoy a wonderful relationship with the local townsfolk, as Stardew Valley focuses on community interaction. You can participate in festivals, make gifts for other people, and even find love. Its open-ended style means you can get involved in the underlying story or just build your perfect home. Its gorgeous, simple art style also means it runs on anything, but beware if you download it on your mobile, you might never put it down. The world of television is a fast-paced, high-stress place at the best of time, let alone in a dystopian alternate 1980s where broadcasts are actively censored. Although you're only the cleaner, you've accidentally found yourself behind the mixing desk of the biggest news program on TV, National Nightly News. Underqualified and at risk of falling foul of the shady powers behind the scenes, it is your job to select camera feeds, bleep out foul language, and choose the headlines that will be broadcast to the world. Like its fellow bureaucrat simulator Papers, Please, you can choose to play the dutiful pawn or deliberately cause trouble. Whatever you decide, you only have a few seconds to act, because the news is going out live. The game's retro flavor, as well as its unusual use of live-action TV footage, creates a very engaging tone that complements the tricky gameplay and the ethics of your new career as a propagandist. An oft-vented argument about Euro Truck Sim is that it isn't aspirational. People play flight simulators because it's incredibly difficult and financially prohibitive to become a pilot, and relatively easy to get a job driving lorries by contrast. The counter-argument? Euro Truck Simulator 2 exists so you don't have to get a job driving lorries. It does a fantastic job too, and is one of the best truck games we've ever played. On the one hand, it's therapeutic. Cruising the dual carriageways of northern Italy at just below the legal speed limit while a local radio station plays unintelligibly is pure nourishment for the soul. On the other, it's a supreme challenge. Defeated the Fume Knight in Dark Souls 2, have you? Come back when you've parallel parked a Scania or Highline carrying a yacht after a night's drive from Luxembourg to Budapest. Set during the American Golden Age of Railway, between 1830 and 1930, you are the proud owner of an ambitious young railway company. Plan your railway lines and run a glorious range of over 40 historically authentic trains along them. But remember, although a direct line might be more profitable in the long term, it might also bankrupt your company to build. In addition to rolling out your great iron roads across the country, the game affords you a large degree of customization, letting you hire your own employees, each with individual personality types, and even what carriages your engines will pull. If you're a fan of F1 games, you should already be aware of the official F1 series from Codemasters and the studio's annual entries. The pinnacle of Formula 1 simulation racers is as close to the experience as you're likely to get without actually being there, and the latest entry is the best yet. The handling model in the F1 series is the best around, and this is the finest iteration yet, accurately and perfectly conveying the sense of driving one of these ridiculously fast beasts. Tiny changes in traction, feeling the back twitch out in the rain, and that unmistakable bobble as you hit full speed. It's all there, whether you're herring around the Côte d'Azur in modern or classic vehicles. Not content with one F1 racing game? Well, here's another one. Real driving simulator Gran Turismo 7 might not be the most accurate replica of modern racing, but its integration of VR, scalable difficulty, and outright accessibility makes it among the best simulation games available to newcomers and competitive drivers alike, and a gateway to more intense, true-to-life alternatives like Assetto Corsa and Race Room. Just make sure you get a half-decent wheel for the real experience. Platforms: PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, PC, Nintendo Switch. Chef Life, a restaurant simulator, gives you all the control, from the look of your restaurant all the way down to the placement of individual peas on a plate. There's a lot of do when you're running a restaurant, so beyond learning how to make and subsequently plate each dish, you'll also have to manage your suppliers to ensure you've got enough ingredients and organize your team shifts. Get it wrong and you'll be overwhelmed by the dinner rush, but get it right and you'll feel the rush of running your restaurant to perfection. If you do it well enough, you'll see your place go from humble cafe to Michelin-starred establishment in no time. Microsoft Flight Simulator recreates every aspect of flying down to the last sublime detail, the hot air from the engines rippling over the wing as you begin your charge down the runway, and the streaks of rain across your windshield as you descend through the clouds. This spectacular attention to detail becomes more astonishing. Every single square inch of our planet Earth is mapped out in MFS, ready for you to soar overhead. The flying itself is also meticulously simulated, with detailed aerodynamic modeling, fully detailed cockpits and instrumentation, and real-time weather conditions, so you can experience the precise wind speed and direction outside your window right now as you crash into your own house. Of course, we couldn't have a best Sims list without the sound of screams coming from a frankly dangerously designed theme park ride. But hey, it's what your guests are paying for, right? Planet Coaster, from Management Sim Specialists Frontier Developments, is here to scratch all your old-school roller coaster tycoon itches. Building your own Disneyland or Universal Studios has never been this much fun as you craft the park of your dreams from the flower beds up. It can be a little intimidating for first-time players as there's just so much to get to grips with as you build, organize, and staff your park. But once you've got the basics, Planet Coaster feels limitless. There's also no chance of running out of new items with all the endless DLC packs on offer, so whatever kind of park you want to build, you'll find everything you want here. This free-to-play multiplayer naval battler immerses players in the tides of WW2, where players can control ships in sea combat to take down opponents on a variety of maps. World of Warships continues to receive frequent updates that add to the already enormous fleet of cruisers, destroyers, battleships, and aircraft carriers that players can command on the waters, each with their own special abilities. You can now play World of Warships in your very own submarine, complete with upgrades and unique combat roles, making this one of the best submarine games out there. Animal Crossing: New Horizons is a standout simulation game due to its charming and immersive world. Players move to a deserted island and transform it into a personalized paradise by gathering resources, crafting items, and designing their homes and landscapes. The game's real-time clock and seasonal events create a dynamic and engaging experience, encouraging daily play. Ever wanted to be the lone member of a professional kitchen? The correct answer is yes, chef, and Cooking Simulator is here to test your skills in a sprawling realistic kitchen. If your only experience of Chef Sims is cooking mama, consider this as a trip from the frying pan into the fire. Your diners are demanding, and not only that, but cooking is no mere matter of waving a wooden spoon in the general of a pan. Instead, you need to perfectly measure every ingredient, slice and dice your meats and veg, and perfectly cook each item in the correct saucepan. Thankfully, if you're more in the mood for mindless destruction, that's also possible here, and how a lot of our first meals went, with developer Big Cheese giving you the ability to start fires, break plates, and blow up the microwave. Purists know that Championship Manager Season 97/98 is the epitome of the football management sim, but full credit to Sports Interactive's Breakaway Football Manager series. It's the best you'll ever get, and nothing even comes close. We're now up to Football Manager 2024, the 20th annual release for the Breakaway franchise. There's a reason it's regularly shortlisted for glory at events like the 2024 BAFTA Games Awards. Once you boot it up, you just can't stop playing it. If you want to become a manager of a major soccer team, Football Manager is the closest thing to a real-life role, though you don't have to endure social media hatred, indiscriminate sacking, or the fallout of aggressive takeovers. The second Insurgency game wonderfully straddles the line between hardcore soldier simulator and arcade multiplayer games. Anyone can pop in a game and have fun, but try to play Insurgency Sandstorm like Team Fortress 2 or Counter-Strike and you won't advance very far. Instead, Sandstorm is more like a condensed version of ARMA 3. Sure, there may be capture points in XP, but at its heart, this war game is all about simulating the ferociousness of modern conflict. A couple of gunshots will down any enemy, although aiming and actually hitting them is far more difficult. There's a large range of realistic guns to choose from, and they all feel distinct, especially once you start modding them with attachments like new barrels, grips, and scopes, which can completely change the feel of the weapon. Are you a hardened criminal? Then Thief Simulator by Noble Muffins isn't the game for you. But if you're just a regular normie dreaming of a life of villainy, then this open-world burglary simulator may be just what you're looking for. Scout out the neighborhood for houses to hit, and spy on their occupants to work out their daily routines. Then it's time to go in with your janky black van and your diverse set of thieving tools and nick everything that's not nailed down, pick locks, rejig security systems, and cut holes in windows to become the best bad guy on the block. It wouldn't be a simulator list without Powerwash Simulator. It sounds simple, right? You power up your pressure washer and clear stages by completely eradicating the filth that coats the environment. Before you know it, hours of mesmerizing power washing have flown by, and no surface will ever appear clean to your gaze again. With a myriad system of adjustable nozzles, hoses, and pressure types to customize your machine, this chore-based simulator shouldn't work as well as it does. Having recently added a co-op mode, as well as a VR version, Powerwash Simulator's satisfying ding of completion will stick with you long after closing the game. Train Sim World 4 is perfect for those looking for a relaxing and engaging simulation experience as well as full-on train nerds. Released in 2023 by Dovetail Games, the makers of the long-running Train Simulator series on PC, Train Sim World 4 is a train driving sim which is very accommodating for beginners, yet can be made more challenging for veteran players. Couple that with additional content being added over time, as well as a free-roaming mode where you can explore the routes on foot and ride AI-controlled trains as a passenger, and Train Sim World quickly becomes a charming and evocative experience that is worthy of a Best Simulator Games badge. Perhaps the best thing about this free MMO is that it's very easy to just plunge into it, get a decent idea of its systems, and start having fun right away. Try saying that about Flight Simulator X with a straight face. War Thunder's WW2/Korean War era roster exceeds 300 aircraft. Each can be piloted using arcade, boo, or simulation physics models to blast away at airborne adversaries playing on both PC and consoles. Its servers know no platform boundaries, which, of course, means there's usually plenty of easy meat for PC players to pick off. Ready to go back to school? Don't worry, you don't have to go that far back. 2 Point Campus is all about building the ultimate university, and if you've played 2 Point Hospital, you'll be familiar with the humorous tone of this in-depth management sim. Unlike 2 Point Hospital though, where we could look at the bigger picture and not really worry about the patients turning into spooks in the corridors. 2 Point Campus forces us to really care about our students. If they're not happy learning gastronomy or riding their horses and jousting at night school, then they won't want to pay you to keep educating them. Not only that, but we need to take care of their social lives too, throwing parties in the student union and even adding items to help them build friendships. Did you find yourself reading about World of Warships above and thinking, boy, that game sure looks fun, but gee whiz, it would be better if it were about tanks instead? If so, you're in luck, Chuck, because the game World of Tanks exists and it's exactly that. The game puts you into the driver's seats of a plethora of tanks from throughout history and across countless regions. Here you do battle against players around the world, with a selection of beautiful maps that give you a taste of what it's like to operate one of these enormous vehicles in a number of different terrains. Meanwhile, many of these maps have been used to represent the location in which famous battles took place, and they encourage different types of strategic thinking too. Maxis has added so many expansion packs, stuff packs, and game packs over the years that The Sims 4 now feels like hundreds of games in one. Maybe you want to look after an entire family of vampires or werewolves, or perhaps build yourself the ultimate tiny home, or live by the beach, or take on the lives of rich and famous Sims, or even just spend hours constructing the ultimate countryside mansion. Whether you just want to build or really want to dive into the lifestyle element that's constantly being updated with more diversity and depth, The Sims 4 is still the cream of the management crop. So, did you like the games I recommended? So leave your like, subscribe to the channel to follow me, and activate the bell because I post a lot of videos on this channel and you can't miss it. Thank you very much for following me this far, and until next time, bye.